time for a family of four production. It is once again review time. This time we have On the Bench in HD Dashcam. So I'm in love with the Dashcam. I run them front and back on my car, on both of our vehicles. I have one on the motorbike. I don't know where else to put them. I need to buy another vehicle so I can have more, but Dashcams are all the rage right now. And Toguard, I've bought two of these now, and this is my second one. It's going to go in the back of my car. I would like to have a dash cam in the front, which I do, and I want another one in the back, which is running full time. Because if you get hit from behind, then you need video of that. So, not that it happens to me all the time, but it's also cool to see what's going on behind you and have video of that. So this one came quickly. It was exactly as described on Amazon.ca. I'll do a quick opening because people love to see product reveals and openings, right? I get comments all the time. Hey, can you do an unboxing of this? Anyway, here's the unboxing. So this is the little camera. It's quite small, quite discreet, shall we say. You can see there's film over the lens, and there's also film over the screen in the back. We've got some buttons along the side, some more buttons on the other side, and a place for an SD card. The SD card slot is empty, so this does not include an SD card with it. Some do. So there's that. That's the camera. Oh, there's also 6 LED lights around the outside. So that's going to be used for nighttime under low lighting situations. This will, I presume, light up the scene a little bit. We've got two different USB plugs there. So is that two different options? No, I believe one's going to be a power and one's going to be for the reverse camera. This camera is your front-facing camera, and it'll include another camera that's your rearward-facing camera. Let's dig in and see if we can find that. More unboxing, isn't that exciting? So here's a nest of wires. And in with this nest of wires is another camera, and it also has 4 LED lights on it. This is your reverse camera. So when you wire this up correctly, this goes into this camera, and then the open-ended red and black go onto your ground and reverse light wire. When you put your vehicle in reverse, it'll activate this camera, and this screen will light up with your reverse camera's view. So you'll be able to see what's right behind you when you're backing up. Pretty cool. So that's that. It comes with some 3-way sticky tape, and by 3-way I mean 2-way. How would you have 3-way sticky tape? I don't know. So this is for installing this back camera. You're going to put that on there, and then you're going to also use screws if you can to screw it into somewhere just above your license plate, or perhaps you would stick this inside your vehicle on the back window. That would keep this clean, and then your windshield wiper could clean the window if it got dirty. Let's keep digging and see what else we have in this kit. There is also a power cord for your main camera. This plugs into a power adapter in your cigarette lighter. While I say that, let's look at this, because I know they included one. This is great. So, included in this kit is a cigarette lighter adapter with not one but 2 USB plugs. So you have this for your camera, and you have another one to charge your phone or whatever you feel like you need to do. Options for mounting this camera on the front window. This is nice and simple. Don't forget to peel this off before you stick that to the window, or it won't work very well. This just screws into here like so. It's easy to do when you're filming. Watch. Yeah, there, I got it. So that actually started fairly easy. So once you get it to the position you want, then you can use this little tightener ring to hold it in position, and then it'll stick to your windshield in whatever position you want. So that's that. What's more? We have more options for mounting our camera. Now, here's a second option. What is the difference? Profile. This one is a larger profile. You know what? This is sticky tape. So this is a suction cup mount, and this one is not suction cup. It's 3M sticky tape. So you're going to peel that plastic piece off of there, and this will stick permanently to wherever you put it. And when you pull it off, it'll probably leave some of that sticky tape and be really hard to clean. So stick that carefully and thoughtfully when you decide to do it, because it's there for life. You could stick that, you know what would be nice? Sticking that on the back and being able to mount this on there, but I don't see a mounting hole for that. So this is simply for the front camera. Let's get rid of some of these bags, and we have one more bag here. This is going to be a patch cord for updating your device, I presume. So you're going to be able to plug this into, no, you know what this is? This is a shorter option of this. So if you have, this is a lot of wire if you want to run it all the way around your window, down the side, under the floorboards, back up and into your cigarette lighter. If you have an option, you can use this shorter wire just straight down from the window to the cigarette lighter. That's what that is. So two options in length for attaching your, hooking up your camera. And we have some, these are little tabs for routing the wiring. So let's get rid of that bag. These little tabs have one-sided sticky tape on them. Well, it's actually two, but one side's already used up. Peel the sticker off, stick it to wherever you're sticking it, and then run your wires through there. This little white piece is extra. Run your wires right through there, and that'll keep the wires organized as they route around down to your cigarette lighter. This little guy, I've asked, and I think, they haven't answered yet, but I think what it is a tool for removing your SD card. So leave a comment here somewhere if you know what this is or you think you know what this is. I'm open. It's a great nail pick. I don't know what else you'd use it for. Maybe you could, anyway. This is what I think it's for. It's for removing and inserting the SD card, which can be kind of hard if you have big fat fingers like me. So, last but not least, we have in here the Toguard CE23 Full HD 1080p Dual Lens Dash Camera Instruction Manual, version V0606. Here we are, important notices to start, and of course you're going to read all those. Oh, this just appeared. That is pretty cool. Let me see if I can flip this video. No, let's go this way. No, okay, so that doesn't work. When you stick this on your window, I'm sure it'll work. Like if you can see that there a little bit, there you can kind of read it. It says dash cam recording. So that's kind of good to have if you want. Let others know that you do have a dash cam, and if you're in an accident, let me tell you, the police are going to be looking for your dash cam footage, regardless of whose fault it was, because they do use that stuff in court. So here's a brief description of the product of the camera. It shows you all the things that I've basically just gone over. Microphone, so I failed to mention, it does have a microphone on the bottom here. So you'll see you'll see two holes. So that means it records audio on two channels, which is good. If you're using this, as we do sometimes for our home videos, using this footage, it records in stereo rather than mono, which is nice because you want your video in stereo, not mono. So it walks through the button functions, the modes, etc., how to route it. These are the little clips I was talking about. You can see two methods of routing it there. The hookup for the reversing camera. This red wire, as I discussed earlier, goes to your reverse lamps, and then it plugs into the camera up front, and when you put your car in reverse, the back camera is activated. So then it goes through the menus, etc., etc., recording menu. So you know what we'll do? Let's get this thing fired up, and we'll take it out and see what it'll do. Quickly though, I'll go through. It has a 3-inch LCD display screen. The lens is 170 degrees of field of view. That means from this lens facing this way, the lens looks out. Can I do this? That way, this way to that way is 170 degree field of view. That's pretty good. That's a wide field of view. You consider 180 is you know, completely side to side. So 170 degrees is quite good. You're going to maybe a slightly distorted image, but everything's going to be there. This isn't for image quality necessarily. It's more for recording events as they occur. So that's interesting. Anything else you need to know? It records in 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. Video format is MOV and H.264 formatting coding. So that's compatible with most. That'll be good for YouTube and everything else. Pictures are in JPEG, 12, 10, 8, or 5 megapixel. Loop recording means it just records over and over. There's a couple of other things in here. Wide dynamic range, WDR, is a good feature. Can you see that? WDR stands for wide dynamic range, and what that means is it's able to differentiate between bright and dark areas, such as this right now. This is bright, that's dark. This camera does okay at picking up detail down here, but it does really well at picking this up. When you're driving into the sun, this thing will, with wide dynamic range, be able to see stuff that is in front of the sun, or surrounding the sun, and in low and high light situations. Storage. SD card up to 32 gigs, so don't buy a 64. Internal power is DC 5 volts. That's pretty standard out of a USB plug, is 5 volts, 4.7 actually. Operating temperature is -10 to 50 degrees. So, I don't know, here in Canada it gets well below -10. We'll see if that works out over the winter. And then there's some common troubleshooting things there you can go through. And of course, if you need support, there you go. US and Canada, Europe, UK, and Australia. So, let's fire this thing up and see what it'll do. Alright, we're back. So what I've done here, I've got the camera now, it's still on the desktop here, or still on the desk. What I've done is I have plugged in the USB cord to my computer, which is going to provide us with the 5 volts we need to activate this thing. So this is what you will see when you turn on your car. When it's plugged in, it will come on just like this. Alrighty, so of course it says please insert an SD card. Maybe I should grab one. But at any rate, we'll zoom in a little bit on this, and I was going to walk you through the menus. So it starts up in video mode. It would be recording automatically. When it comes on, you would see the ticker going. Right now it shows that it's charging. It shows the current time, which is actually not correct. I haven't set the time yet. Just got it. It's in 1080 full high definition mode. There's anti-shake going on, it looks like, and then the timer's not running. It's in video mode. It looks like a 5-minute loop on the video mode. The brightness setting is currently set to 0, which is good, and it looks like it's recording audio. It's also charging a battery in there. So there is an internal battery, and that's for a couple of functions, which we'll get into here in a second. Let me move this stuff out of the way so you have a black background. It's easier for you to see. And we're off to the races. So on the side we have different buttons. We have on this side menu up down. Over here we have OK, menu, lock, and power. So you can turn it off manually here. So I'll be manipulating the buttons here. You'll be able to figure that out quickly when you get this thing in your hands and start working with it. So we'll start by, in video mode, we're going to go into the video menu. And we'll go down to resolution to start. Look at the resolution. I like to record on the highest possible resolution, so there it is. So we'll click OK, and we're going to clear back out already. And next we'll go down to dual record. So if we click on dual record, what that means is this camera records full time, as does the reverse camera. So that might be a good function to have, and this would eliminate the need for a second camera. So let's click OK. Loop recording, if you click on that, you have an option. So loop recording simply means how long are your video clips recording. Off means it'll just record until your memory card is full and then start over. Then your options are 3, 5, 10, or off. So 3, 5, 10 minutes. I think 5 minutes is a good loop time. So you'll get 5-minute video loops with this. Going down to wide dynamic range, on or off. That should always be on, perhaps. I think that's the best setting. And so we'll keep that on. Next one on the menu is exposure. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. Exposure setting. I keep that right at 0. Now if you find this is too bright, too dim, then if it's too bright, you can knock it down quite a ways. Or if it's too dim, you can brighten it up. But I'm going to keep mine right in the middle at plus 0.0. Motion detection. So this has a capability of, when motion is detected and your vehicle is sitting idle, to come on and start recording. That would be handy if somebody's going to steal your car. I don't need that function, so I'm going to leave that off. Record audio, yes, leave that on, because it's great to have audio in the car. You can say things and record things via audio that it could be useful later. Date stamp, yes or no, so that's on, and that's handy to know when things happened in the video. Plate number, now this is interesting. If you go in here and you click on, then it will put your plate number in there for the vehicle. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on to the next one in line is G sensor. So it has a sensor in it that will sense when it shakes and start recording. That's handy if your car is parked and you get hit. So you can set 3 different sensitivity levels. I'm going to set it to medium for now and see how that goes. Parking monitor. That's on or off. If that's on, it will show your parking stall as you're parking, I believe. Rear lens flip, so that'll flip it upside down or right side up, depending on how you install the rear camera. Alright, next menu moving on is capture mode. Go in there and your capture mode would be a single photo, a 2-second timer, a 5-second timer, 10-second timer, and that's it. So we're going to leave it on single shot for now. There's also timers, so you could do selfies, I guess. Is that what that's for? Resolution, I always leave it on the highest setting, so 12 megapixels is great. And we're back to our SD card setting again. So capture mode, resolution we've done. Exposure, this is for photos. We'll set that at 0 for now. Anti-shaking, that should be on. That's probably some sort of image stabilization software they have in here. We'll leave that on. Going down to time and date stamp, that's either on or off. Date and time, or off. So date and time is great. Let's leave it there. Moving on to our next menu. Beep sound is that beep sound you hear as I push all the buttons. We can leave that on. Language, there's a bunch. I'll go through them quickly. So there's quite a few. We'll leave it on English because that's my preferred. 50 or 60 hertz. 50 hertz for here in North America, 60 for Europe. Lamp settings, it's either on or off. So we'll leave that on, and that's detected when it gets dark, I presume. Screensaver, after you start driving, how long until this screen goes out? If you turn it off, it'll stay on the entire time. That can be a little distracting, so I put it on for a couple of minutes just to remind myself I've got one, and then it goes off. Format would be format the SD card, but of course we don't have an SD card installed currently, so that won't work. Default settings, restore everything to the default settings if you want to erase it back to 0. And version, this one is currently Toguard CE23 2018 June 22nd, so that's the most current version as of today, which is October the 5th, 2018. So there you have it. We've gone through the menus. The modes, whoops, let's get out of there. The modes are as follows. So you have video mode. We start off in video mode. You can see my license plate number there isn't put in here correctly because I didn't do it just now. Wide dynamic range is on, and it's in night mode because it's so dark here. So moving along, the next mode will be still photo mode. So you can take a still image if you'd like, if I had an SD card installed. And there's no images to view, so you can also view the images on this thing, and then back to video mode. So there you have it. I've just unplugged it, and there you can see it went out. So it's off now, and theoretically if it gets shook it should come back on. There it is. So it came on and it's going off again because it recognized that there's no SD card in it. That kind of wrecks that, but you could see how it came back on there and started recording, and that would be in the event that your car gets hit from the side. There it goes again, and it turns off because there's no SD card. All right, I'm gonna go out and set it in the car now, set it up in the car, and see how it works. All right, we're out in the car here. I've got the HD Dashcam from Toguard, and we're going to install it real quick. I'll show you how quickly and easily it is to install this thing, how easily it is to install this thing. I'll show you how easy it is to install this thing. So, instruction manual, I've read through that. Pull out the camera, and don't forget to peel off the protective coatings off of here, because otherwise you'll have a pretty blurry image. There's one in the front, there's one in the back. I'm going to leave the one in the back for now just so it doesn't get scratched up, etc. And then you're going to reach in and pull out your desired suction cup mount. I'm going to use the suction cup. Of course, it also comes with the double-sided sticky mount, and you can stick that on your dash. I'm not too keen on that because I like to be able to move it around or whatever I want to do. So I'm going to leave that one in the box for now. Peel the backing off of that, and we're going to attach this to the camera and then kind of position it where you want. Ideally, these dash cams are kind of out of the field of view, but in a position where it's able to see the road nicely. So screw it down, use the locking nut there to secure it into place, and get your angle approximately correct. It's going to sit about like that, so it's something like that. You can always adjust it once it's there. I like to have them up out of the way, so I would put it somewhere up like this maybe, or up in behind the window. I've got a bit of a rough bit here, which is my antenna. I don't know how well it would stick to that, so plain glass is the best. So maybe I'll try it up in there for now and see what that looks like. That should be out of my field of view pretty much. Could also put it way over here, and it's still going to see the road well. You can adjust it to see the road. So let's try it here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to stick it to the window and then snap that little lever down, and that should secure it into position like So that's on there, it's not going anywhere. And now we're ready to, you can turn it all around. You know what I forgot to do is I don't have an SD card in here, but I'll grab that in a second. Now what we're going to do is hook up this is the reverse cam, and I've yet to hook that up. This goes at the back of the car. Perhaps I'll get to that in a separate video, how to install this. That's for reversing. I'm going to leave that for now. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the power to the dash cam, and I've got a USB cigarette adapter over here that I've plugged that into, and then this just simply plugs into the very top of the dash cam like so. Now you can take this wire and you can route it all around like this, or you can just simply let it hang straight down, drape it over like that. That's not too bad. It's kind of in the way, it's kind of bothersome. What I'll do is I'll use the included mounting clips later, these little sticky clips. They could go up along the window like this and all down the side, and so you can route that wire all the way down. But for now, there we are. So when you turn on your keys now, it will activate the dash cam, and there it's coming on. Please insert the SD card, and there it is. So you just adjust it to your field of view, and you're good to go. So I'll go grab an SD card, and we will take this thing for a drive and show you some footage. So here's some footage from the Toguard 1080 HD Dashcam. Enjoy. Alright, should be good to go. Looks like it's fairly well centered. You can see the left side of my car and the right side of my car. So let's go for a quick drive and see what she looks like. So these are the settings we just did, as you saw in the video. 1080p, can't remember what the loop time setting was, I think it was 5 minutes. Wide dynamic range is on, and the brightness setting, or exposure setting, was set to 0.0 right in the middle. So we'll just do a quick drive here around the block. We've got some pretty white, bright clouds in the far distance, and the close area is fairly dark. It's an overcast day, so you can see how it does with the contrast in light there. So there's coming up on 2 minutes of video recording, and the screen has just gone out here. It's still recording, obviously, but you can judge for yourself. The quality of the video seems decent. The audio you're listening to right now is from the Toguard HD Dashcam itself, and yeah, I'm fairly impressed. And of course, when you turn off your car, I'm turning it off now, the Toguard camera automatically turns off. So all in all, I'm pretty impressed with the Toguard 1080p Dashcam. Here's the box. The quality seems excellent. It looks great. It does everything you want it to do, and you can judge for yourself. The quality of the video and the audio is quite good. So, you know what? 2 thumbs up from family of 4. Yeah, go get yourself one if you're so inclined. Cheers.